Hey, good morning, Pastor Tom Donnelly, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we have some sound issues. It looks like Amy says, I have sound on Facebook. Anne Marie says, is sound on? Can't hear on Facebook, but I can on YouTube. Diane says she doesn't have sound on Facebook. Hmm. Well, I wonder, can you hear me? I had sound. Um, Sandra says, I have sound on Facebook. Um, Steve says he's got sound on YouTube, but now Alice says no sound. Crazy. It's got to be a Facebook thing because some people have it. Christine says I can hear you fine on both. Vivian says I can hear you. Uh, all right, Kimberly just said from upstairs that she has sound, so I'm gonna trust that it's working right. I'm not sure why some of you aren't don't have sound. It might be your setup. Um, so I would encourage you to check your sound inputs or your speaker settings. Good morning, everyone. Emily says, good on Facebook here. Great. Claire says, I can hear you. All right. We got about 20 people on board for our devotion today, and we're going through the Psalms, and Psalm 2 is always really, really encouraging for me, and especially during a time when the world seems a bit out of control to me. And I always have this tendency to want to control and fix things, make things right. Um, but that's not always possible in the kingdom of this world. And so you end up hurting yourself or getting hurt or overwhelming yourself with all the things that you're concerned about. So I just want to share some verses in Psalm 2 and talk about them just for a minute. You know, remember David's writing these things. In verse 1, he says, why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against the Lord and against his anointed one. Let us break their chains, they say, and throw off their fetters. The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath. It's one thing to theologically know that God is in control. We can say the words. We can say that if God's omnipotent, all powerful, and all knowing and omnipresent, then and if He's good, then He's in control. It's another thing to remind ourselves that it's really true, right? One of the greatest quotes, and I don't even remember where it came from anymore, is, do I really believe that what I believe is really, really true? And all those reallys are because somehow in the 20th century, going into the 21st century, we can know something to be true, but it has no impact on our lives. We can know we should diet and exercise, but we don't do it. We know that we shouldn't eat some certain foods because they're bad for us, but we do them anyways. We know that we should take our medication or check our blood, and the diabetic doesn't, or whatever. It's part of our human nature. But our reborn, recreated new nature wants to cling to the truths of God's word, and we gather together every morning to do so. And today, God is saying, don't get overwhelmed by what's going on out there in the kingdom of the world and all the news and the Democrats and the Republicans and them saying this and them saying that and some medical expert saying this and another medical expert saying that. Remember that He says they plot in vain. Even if there's room for some of the conspiracy theories that are out there about why things are happening, the people plot in vain. God laughs at them. He scoffs at them. And He says, I'm the one that's in control. I am the one. And so we have a good, good Father who is not only this intimate Father, but he is also the ruler of the universe. He is the head of all eternity. And we all plot in vain if we attempt to try to create some reality that's outside his own. And he talks about the anointed one, that already Jesus is mentioned in Psalm 2, that there's going to be a new kingdom, and that kingdom that not even the gates of hell will be able to stand against it. So find strength today, find hope today in the fact that maybe shut off the news for a little bit and repeat some of the things that you know about God. Go through Psalm 2 and be reminded that no matter what the powers at this world do, God's in control. For all of human history, God has moved nations. He was able to move the Egyptian nation. He was able to get all the Canaanites out of the area where the Israelites came. God is constantly moving the things in this kingdom for the sake of his own. Anne Marie says that quote came from the Truth Project, and I think you're right. I think you're right. In one of the latter videos, I think that came from the Truth Project. But think about that today. Do you really believe that what you believe is really, really true? And if so, find hope in it. Find absolute certain hope in it. God bless everyone. Have a firmly rooted day. And for some of us, we'll be meeting again in about 25 minutes for prayer. And let's see what our issue might be with sound. See you then. Peace.